fellow Dragonstaffers. In this video, we'll be covering 3 spooky Dragonstaff tricks. So for this video, I want to focus a little more on how to make these tricks look a little more spooky rather than focusing on how to do the tricks themselves. So there will be 3 prerequisites for these, and that is 1 for each trick. I will put links to those 3 down below. The first is your split time Chiroll with the staff rolling away from you. The second is your behind the back Chiroll, and the third is your palm spins. So before we jump into these, I do want to mention that one way of making these 3 tricks look a little bit spookier is going to depend on your outfit. So not so much something like I'm wearing. Also, if you have any kind of face paint or face mask, that will help as well. Another thing that is going to add to the spookiness of these tricks is the way that your body's moving and your facial expressions if you aren't wearing some kind of mask. So for our first spooky Dragonstaff trick, Chiroll isolations. And these can be done with a split time Chiroll either rolling away from you or towards you. But I do find that split time Chirolls with the staff rolling away from you come a little bit more easily to most of us. So that's what I'm going to stick to throughout this video. And there are a lot of different types of isolations that you can do with your split time Chiroll that can add a little bit of spookiness. So one of those being a Chiroll isolation with the staff in front of you. So we're essentially trying to keep the staff in place, not have it tilt or go higher or lower, and instead stay isolated in one spot while we do our split time Chiroll. And I think it can look really nice to kind of lean to the opposite side that you are pushing the staff to. So in this Chiroll isolation, I am bringing the staff over to my right, then over to my left, and back and forth. And I think it can look a little nice, a little spooky if we lean to the left as we bring the staff out to the right, lean to the right as we bring the staff out to the left. And this can also be done behind the head or above the head to create kind of a behind the head Chiroll isolation, and you can still move the body to the opposite side that you are pushing the staff out to. And if you add a little bit of foot movement, maybe some spooky facial expressions, and especially if you have a spooky outfit or mask on, then these Chiroll isolations can really go a long way as far as bringing some spookiness to the performance. There are also things like Chiroll head isolations and things like adding some pirouettes and footwork to your split time Chirolls as well, which all of those I think can look spooky when presented with the right outfit, the right mask, or the right movement. For our second spooky Dragonstaff trick, behind the back Chirolls. And in the behind the back Chiroll that I put a link for down below, we do cover some different kind of footwork things that you can do with your behind the back Chiroll. And funny enough, a lot of the tricks that I think incorporate more footwork or more like kind of elegant or dancey features, I think also look really spooky when presented with a costume or a mask of some kind. So a lot of those same things that we did with our behind the back Chiroll to make it look a little more elegant, a little more dancey, are also things that we can do to make the trick look a little bit more spooky. There is, however, one thing that I like to do to make my behind the back Chirolls a little more spooky that I did not mention in the behind the back Chiroll tutorial. So in that video, I mentioned that I like to present my behind the back Chirolls kind of from a side view and with the legs in more of a lunge position. When I want to add some spookiness to this trick, I actually don't do those things. So I like to keep the feet parallel and face away from the audience so that I can come into a nice back bend and look at the audience. And for whatever reason, I only like doing that behind the back Chiroll variation when I'm going for more of a spooky vibe. There's something about back bends that are just a little bit spooky. You can see in a lot of scary movies, they do that kind of crazy back bend kind of crab walk type thing that can look really spooky. So I do try to incorporate that into the Dragonstaff flow when trying to bring some spookiness to it. And that leads us to our third spooky Dragonstaff trick. And that is a palm spin with a back bend. So just like our Chirolls and our behind the back Chirolls, I think palm spins can also look spooky if you add in some footwork, some pirouettes and things, and of course back bends. So of course you could do this on your right or your left hand. My dominant side is my right hand, so I like to do my palm spin in the right hand. And to make back bends a little bit easier, back bends are not easy for me. So if they're not easy for you, these tips might also help. If back bends are your jam, then you can probably get into your back bend palm spin without these tips. But for those of us who struggle with back bends, you'll bring yourself a little bit lower to the ground, a little bit closer to the ground by bringing the legs wide. And that means you won't have to back bend as far. And I think it's also helpful to bend the knees, again, bringing you a little bit lower. And one thing that I see when I see other people do the back bend palm spin that I think takes away from it just a little bit, and this is an option, especially if back bends are difficult for you, then I do recommend doing this to avoid injury. And that is, instead of bringing the hand up and overhead, they just bring it to the side. And I think that it doesn't look as good, but it is a nice substitute if back bends are difficult or if it's not possible for you to bring your hand all the way back in a back bend. So that is one way of doing it. However, if you have the back bending abilities, I think it can look just a little step cooler or spookier if you bring the hand up overhead behind you and then to the ground. And there you have 3 spooky Dragonstaff tricks. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed those. Huge thank you to all of you watching and supporting on Patreon. Thank you for making this channel and these videos possible. And I will see you all in the next one.